Welcome to another edition of My Ancestors. This video will begin with my great-grandfather, George Kenneth Frew. He was born in 1893 in Sheridan, Montana. He was the seventh child of William Rose Frew and Nancy Ann Brundage. Sadly, William died 8 months before his son George was born. William was working on a windmill in Lancaster, California. Something happened and he fell to his death, in full view of his family. Nancy gathered up her family and moved back to Montana, where she previously lived. 2 years later, she remarried to Thomas Lewis Shaw, and they had 3 children. In 1917, my great-grandfather joined the U.S. Army and fought in World War I. 2 years after the Great War, George married Edna Griffin, and they had 2 children, Vera and Dixie. Edna died in 1944, and George remarried to Lucille Baldwin. George was a bricklayer by trade. He lived in West Seattle, but also had some properties in North Bend along the river and near Lake Goodwin, north of Everett. As kids, we used to love sitting in the trailer being towed around by the little tractor. Nancy Brundage was born in Springfield, Pennsylvania, as was her mother, Lizzie Holliday. Her father, Hiram Brundage, was born in Ontario, Canada. In 1862, Hiram was the telegraph operator at Fort Kearny, Nebraska. By June of 1863, Hiram was transferred to Fort Bridger, Wyoming, where he started a small newspaper called the Daily Telegraph. The little newspaper reported progress on the Civil War. In 1879, Hiram was listed as the editor and proprietor of the Messenger at Sheridan, Montana. In 1881, he was listed as a publisher of the Dillon Tribune in Dillon, Montana. When Hiram first came to Montana, he lived in Virginia City, where he was listed as a machinist and a gunsmith. Hiram's first wife died at the age of 30. A year later, Hiram remarried to Mary Jane Temple, and they had 3 children. Hiram eventually moved to Montecito, California, where he started one of the first lemon groves in the area. Hiram's daughter Nancy married William Frew in 1883 in Dillon, Montana. William was a painter by trade, both houses, carriages, and background scenes for photographers and theaters. Later, he became a photographer. William was born in Dingwall, Scotland. He was the 4th son of Thomas McNaughton Frew and Christina Rose. They had 8 children in all. 2 of William's brothers also came to the United States. Thomas settled in California, and Duncan became a lawyer in Utah. John, the eldest, was a shop owner, a watchmaker, a provost, and made the clock for the town tower. George served in the Royal Navy. Thomas, who came to the U.S., owned a blacksmith shop in Newell, California. Duncan, who also came to the U.S., was an attorney in Salt Lake City, Utah. James owned a pharmacy in Dingwall, Scotland. The farthest my tree goes back is to John Frew. He was actually born in Ireland and served in the military. He was a sergeant and fought in many battles, one of them being Waterloo.